Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So here, let's have a look at another issue of Monster Magazine, and then this is issue number 17, and this is actually the current edition, the newest issue, and then yeah, it's talking about the 3-year anniversary of Monster Strike in Japan, and yeah, so all kinds of cool stuff in here. And then on the cover here, this is Yomi, and then he completes the series of Colossal Quests, and he is the Dark Element Colossal Quest. Alrighty, let's have a look inside. Okay, as always, here are the new Transcendent Forms near the very front of the book. And then, yeah, over here we got Nanami, and she was kind of a surprise pick for the Transcendent Form. There were some rumors about certain monsters getting Transcendent Forms, but Nanami was definitely not one of them. So yeah, she was a pleasant surprise for a lot of people. It's kind of an outer space robotic sailor, I guess, so that's pretty cool. And then over here is Eclipse. And then, yeah, I think he was overdue for a new form. He got an Ascension form, which was good, but nobody really used him. But this Transcendent form is super duper strong, so yeah, I'm looking forward very much to both of these. And then here again, they have the very big, nice artwork for certain character illustrations. And then these are alternative versions of extreme drop monsters that we already have. They're kind of like the Queen Butterfly RD and Deathcoil RD, which we got earlier. And yeah, hopefully we'll get these guys. Here's Gargoyle and Nurarihyon. I think Nurarihyon in particular needed an update. And then next page we got, here's Tengu on the left, and then Ghoulie on the right, and then finally Takayasha here. And then, yeah, all the same stats, same abilities, just the new look. And then on these next few pages they do reviews of the characters, and yeah, they're all pretty good, pretty usable, and some of them go with different player styles, like especially Nurarihyon here. He's or she's kind of a specialist character for like Izanami and Bastet and people like that. Here we have more fan art. Looks like we got Princess Noko over there on the left, and then Avalon here at the bottom, and then Jekyll and Hyde, Gabriel, Loki, maybe that's the transcendent form of Loki, Alice, Tengu again, Himiko, and some Tsumutsumu. And this is kind of interesting. This is a guide to all the different hatchers that are available in the game. And then it's kind of telling you, like, depending on what you want, which hatcher you should pull. And then, let's see, over here, here's the Legend series with Lucifer, of course. And then the upcoming Gabriel and Noah. And then here's the Guardian series. We have a Makusashiro and Alice now, and then Robin Hood will be coming later. And then they have the gimmick-specific hatchers, the damage wall, the gravity barriers, the warps, and the mines. And then over here, this is the Monster Collection hatcher, which kind of features the most popular monsters. And then here they have a table of like which monsters have been featured most often. So at 26 times, it's Sakamoto Ryoma. And a little bit less, it's like Arthur, Kenshin, Ibaraki Doji, Sakura, Sinbad, Napoleon, etc., etc. And then here, this is a hatcher that features monsters that are already in their evolution or ascended form. So if you needed some characters quickly, this would be a good one. And then this hatcher features monsters that are good for the Tower of Champions. And then looking at their table of which monsters may feature most often, it's like Nobunaga X, Nazca, Rapunzel, Mundus, Mustang, Alice, Verdandi, etc., etc. And then this one's funny. This one's called Lady Gacha. And then this is a hatcher that feature all of the female characters. And here is the red element specific hatcher. The blue element, and then green, And then the combination of light and dark, with the addition of Kiss Kill Leela, who was in the summer anime. Alright, and then here they have the next in the series of interviews with these two guys here. That's Tiger Sakurai up there, and then Miyabo down there. And then these are like some of the top Monster Strike players and YouTubers in Japan. And then the topic for this article is which Transcendent monsters do you use the most often? And then they have this handy-dandy ranking chart here. On the left is Tiger Sakurai's picks. Number 1 is Raphael, 2 is Royce, 3 is Mundus, and then tied for 4th are Loki and Mikhail. And then in the article he also mentions like Aladdin and Hamlin and Susanoo. And then over here next is Miyabo's picks. Number 1 also Raphael. Number 2 is Mundus. Tied for 3 is Godstrike and Royce. And then finally number 5 is Mikhail. So yeah, a lot of overlap between the two, so we can kind of see where the metagame is going. And then we don't have any of these guys yet except for Godstrike, but we'll be getting Mundus pretty soon, so that's something to look forward to. And then here again is my favorite feature of the magazine, which is the interview with the designer for the Impossible Quests. And then this one's about Akala. And then the guy who designed this quest is Mr. Yokoyama. And then he's this guy here. I guess he didn't want his picture taken, so that's why we only see the back of his head. And then also in the picture here is Mr. Yamamoto. And he, at least I know, designed Izanami Zero. And then the guy in the middle here is Teruman. And he's kind of the head honcho. He's the head... let's see, he created the game itself. And then he was really instrumental in sort of the beginning of the game. And then as for impossible missions that he developed, I know he did at least Bishamonten. I'm not sure what other ones he did. I might have to look at older issues of the magazine to find out. And then I'm looking at the blurb here next to the photo, and my Japanese isn't quite good enough to get the nuance, but it could mean either one of two things. Either Mr. Yokoyama designed some of the first wave of Impossibles from Izanami to Tsukuyomi, or he did all of them. But either way, I think his pedigree is pretty good, so let's have a look at what he says. So first they ask him about when he was asked to design the mission, and then he said he was asked to do it very suddenly. And then he was in the middle of designing floors for the Tower of Champions. So what he did is he took one of his ideas for the Tower of Champions and then turned that into the quest for Akala. And then they ask him which floor is the most similar to Akala, and he says floor 29. And I think that's pretty clear. There is a kind of a similar zombie loop, and then also the main and then the double of the boss. And so they ask him about the theme or the concept of the Akala quest, and he says the Gemini constellation or the twins. And then we can see that in the double zombies and then the double Akalas in the boss stages. And then let's see. He also wanted to kind of make some references to the first Impossible quest, which was Izanami. So that's why he put in the zombie loop. And then that's also why he put in the chance for the match shot, since you can do match shots in Izanami as well. And then as far as the difficulty for the mission, he took into account that Daikokuten was pretty tough. In Japan, that one came out first, and then Akala came out. So he kind of lowered the difficulty of Akala, and then also added that chance for the match shot so that it would be even easier if you were to get that. And then up here they ask him about the zombie loop, and then he said that in Kushinada and Izanami there were a lot of new characters that came out that sort of made it possible to get through the zombie loops just by getting all your bump combos out. But he wanted to do something different here. He wanted to create a zombie loop that you couldn't reliably defeat with just bump combos. So he made it so that you had to defeat both the two zombies at once, so that you had to be more careful and then rely less on bump combos. And then, let's see, what else did they say? They also mentioned that Akala was the first boss to sort of shake when he was getting close to his super attack. And yeah, Mr. Yokoyama, he said that this was good to sort of add drama to the boss battle, and then also to sort of give a hint to players that weren't actively looking at the countdown for certain attacks. And then, let's see. They talk about the gimmicks. In Marishiten, and then Daikokuten, and then in Fudomyo, they all have mines. And then in Akala, there's also gravity barriers. So they're asking if they designed these 3 quests in order to get players to stop bringing Lucifer to impossible quests. And then Mr. Yokoyama, he declines to comment on that, about Lucifer. But he does say that usually when they design impossible quests, they do it to sort of highlight a particular monster, rather than to discourage people from using a particular monster. And so they ask him which monster was meant to be highlighted with Akala, and they say that with the timing of it, they wanted to highlight Hakua. Before Akala came out, Hakua came out, maybe a couple months before, and so yeah, Hakua is very, very difficult to get. And so to kind of reward players that had picked up Hakua, they designed Akala with gravity barriers and mines to sort of reward players that had picked up a Hakua. So he says that's why they chose those 2 gimmicks. And then that's about it for this page. Alright. Then on this last page, they don't actually say that much. They just kind of go over the fact how you need to do damage to the main boss by doing damage to the image of the boss, and then but not do too much so that you take it down by accident. And then they talk briefly about kind of the size of the boss versus its actual like hit area. They made the size of the boss much larger than the hit area, just to make the look of the mission kind of more dramatic. So yeah, that was some interesting insight into the Akala Impossible mission. And then here are some more kind of inside looks into the design of the monsters. And then here they talk specifically about the kind of the mascots that some of the characters have. So first here is Alice, and the timing here is good since we just got the Ascension form of Alice. And then her bunny here is called Crazy Rabbit. And then they say that when they first designed the Crazy Rabbit, it was more kind of newer and sort of cleaner looking. But then they kind of wanted to highlight sort of how Alice is a little bit unhinged and kind of using the rabbit as a shield and as a weapon. And so it is kind of a little bit beat up looking. And then up here is Napoleon with her rabbit. And then the name of her rabbits are Usafine. Usagi, that means rabbit. And then Usafine, probably Josephine or something. They're referencing that name there. And then finally, here's Alibaba, and he's got his little white guy there standing on his sword. And then his name is Shiroino. And that's a play on the word shiroi, which means white color. And yeah, here's some keychains of them available. And then here, this is the latest feature following the adventures of Tarzan Babanozono. He's the player who's playing completely for free. And then, yeah, here they show him going after Nirai Kanai, who is one of the toughest bosses in the game. He's the Water Colossal Quest. And then, actually, the team that Babanozono brought was a free party, no Hatcher monsters. So here's Chokaku, who we have now. And then this is Sholsen, who's coming later. And then Da Vinci X. And yeah, these are all extreme drop monsters. And then kind of bringing a free party to Nirai Kanai is very not recommended, because it's a very difficult mission, even with a perfect Hatcher monster team. But actually, Tarzan Bomanozono, he beats it with this team. And yeah, I remember watching this video on YouTube, and I looked at the comments, and everybody was shocked. Before then, people were kind of questioning the skill level of Tarzan Bomanozono. But after this video, he really kind of proved his mettle. Alright, and then that does it for this issue of the Monster Magazine. And then, yeah, since this is the latest issue, the current issue, I'm going to have to wait until the next issue comes out, or else find some older magazines. I have been visiting, you know, a couple of used bookstores here and there, and it's been pretty difficult to find older magazines, so maybe a little bit of time before the next video of the book reviews. But yeah, hopefully that was interesting and insightful, and we'll see you again. Take care.